All right, welcome to the first weekly outlook of the year in the DeFi Dojo. I am Groot, aka Rob, and we do charts here. If you're not familiar with us, we have a Discord, and the price is going to be $20 a month for full access, or you can subscribe to one of my trading bots, and that also grants you access to the Discord as well. But let's begin. So here, I just wanted to kind of go over a recap of the last, two and a half years of how I've traded Bitcoin. Some of you have been around and known me as long as all the way back here where we sold, spotting that bearish divergence. And if you're not familiar, bearish divergence is when a price is trending up and a RSI or MACD, which is an oscillator, is trending down. And this is showing you that momentum is leaving the market. So we shorted the market for the entirety of this year, making some good gains. And then we noticed this falling wedge pattern. It's getting tighter and tighter in that pattern. And then we noticed that the price trending down while the price is trending, or while the RSI is trending up on the RSI. And this is bullish divergence, and that's why I have this indicated here. Late in the year of 2022, we started accumulating Bitcoin in this Discord. And we are now reaping the benefits of that. My main target for Bitcoin was this golden pocket with the possibility of a 786 touch, which is right around 50K. We've become very close to that, and I have sold, I think, 35% of my Bitcoin now that we accumulated in these regions throughout the year, following the breakout of this wedge and bullish divergence. And now I'm starting to see reasons to wait, right? So I'm not selling all of my Bitcoin, but I have sold a significant chunk of it for some really, really good profits. And now my goal is to take those profits and wait until we see the downside target of this channel and possibly the 0.5 here around 32K again. And that's where I'm going to load the boat, because that is going to be the retracement after the bear market rally. All we have here so far is a bear market rally. This is not yet the full-blown bull market yet, I do not think. Usually a full-blown bull market looks like this, right? It's just up only. We don't really have that going on here. Sure, a lot of people are saying that we could be starting it and we're just going to keep heading higher. But if history is any indication, Bitcoin has never done that before, and so I'm going to rule in favor of that not happening. And I could be wrong. I'm not saying that I'm 100% certain of anything. I just think that the charts are telling me it's time to take some profits and wait some more until we see the bottom part of this target. I personally do not care about ETF news. Do I think it is good for crypto? Honestly, I really don't. I think that I like the idea that crypto is a decentralized, peer-to-peer transaction network that we can use and not involve middlemen. And slowly but surely, the governments and agencies that be are getting involved and starting to put pressure on that idea. So no, I don't really like the idea. Am I going to be buying a Bitcoin spot ETF? Probably not. I'd rather buy the real thing. But in any case, this is probably going to provide a lot of exit liquidity for everyone who bought down here during the period of consolidation and the end of the bear market. This is how they use these events, typically, not always, but typically they will use events like this that have big narratives or big news events to provide liquidity for everyone to sell into without impacting the price too much. Now, when I say not impacting the price too much, I mean, like, we could see a move down to 32K, and from here, where we currently are, I mean, that's still a 27% retrace from here. And that can still possibly happen, and I think it probably will, honestly, before the real bull run starts. And so this is where I plan on rebuying again. If you want to get into the Discord and follow along every week, we do this video every week, and I am very accurate. Last year, I chalked it up to about 74% accuracy on my weekly outlooks. The charts tell us what we need to know well before the news. So I encourage you to get in here and learn. I don't really try to tell you about like what you should buy and when you should buy it. I try to teach you how to chart things on your own. I know this looks like I have a lot on here, and it's because I'm trying to explain things. So usually things don't look this chaotic when I'm sharing them. Let's move on to the dollar strength. The dollar has been falling for several weeks in a row, and now we get this bounce on the main target that we had for several weeks, right? And we're also seeing on the daily some bullish divergence where price is heading down and the oscillator is kind of pointing up a little bit. We get this big move up. We're still under trend, so technically speaking, we could still move down from here. But whenever we make a bounce on the main fib with divergence there, I want to be careful. And so I think that I'm just going to kind of sit and wait and see what equities do this week. I have a couple calls on a few things, but not much. I'm mostly uninvested short term. Long term, I still have everything that we had bought in since late 2022. And I've taken some profits on those things as well. As you guys know, I've posted that in the long-term investments channel as well, and I'm going to continue to keep updating that. If we look at the S&P 500, I've kind of gone through and done these bubbles because there's kind of a pattern here long term. I'm on the weekly chart, and you can see we get like a big bear market followed by some upward action. We break the previous high, but you can see there are several times where we get a sell-off after you break the previous high, and then another sell-off before the real bull market starts. And I want to zoom in here to show you what I mean. So you can see that we hit the 21 EMA 1, 2, 3, 4 times here during this period of time where we're trying to get to new all-time highs. And then as soon as the all-time high is reached, we got 4 weeks of downside, a 21 EMA touch and a bounce, a lower high, another 21 EMA touch, and then this big bullish candle that then created our green bubble where we never touched the 21 EMA again until here before we got to the top, right? And so now we had our similar bear market, right? This was just a quick one. This was March of 2020 during the COVID events. And now we got a longer bull market, or bear market, and then our recovery. And so I think we're still in the recovery phase. And so you can see how as soon as we hit a new all-time high, we already get a red candle. And so this is kind of what I'm thinking we could get for January, maybe even into February a little bit, before we get like an up couple of weeks and then another down couple of weeks before we really head into this green bubble and then our main target up here. And I'm going to show you how I got this target. But first, I just want to kind of give a little bit of an indication of what I think we might see. So I think we might get something like this, back down, and then up, and then back down, and then we start climbing in this bubble for the real bull market, right? And so this means we could have several weeks to even a couple months before we might expect something like that. I also want to be careful because if we look at like the monthly chart here, there is the possibility that this is a double top, right? And that would be really bad. That would be like, okay, we're just going to go like this now, right? Because that's what that would look like. And it would be similar to this situation right here that we had several, almost like what, 2 decades ago. So I want to be mindful of that as well, and I'm going to keep an eye on things. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated in the Discord as to what I'm seeing. But for now, I'm assuming bullishness because our weekly is bullish, our monthly is bullish, and our daily is now starting to look a little bearish, right? We're falling underneath these EMAs, but we could kind of get a little bounce here. They haven't crossed bearish yet. So I'm just keeping an eye on things. I think that things are going to get a little stagnant to begin the year, and I don't want to rush into things if I don't have to. So we're just going to be patient with equities at the moment, especially with the dollar strength. I'd like to see it fall back below this 0.5 here to really start having confidence in bullishness to continue in the equities market. Looking at the NASDAQ, it's kind of a similar situation. We have this sort of downtrend line that we broke at the end of last year. We get a big red candle right down to that 8 EMA on the weekly like I thought we would, and now we're starting the week over it with a little bit of green to begin the session. I think we could get a retest of that trend line down here and maybe peek into this box. And you can see it's kind of, on the daily, kind of a consolidation area where things kind of bounce around a lot in here. And so a move down into this zone before moving back upward is not out of the question, in my opinion. So there's just several things that are telling me we could see some more downside for a week or two, maybe 3. Looking at USDT, now if you're not familiar, this is the stablecoin dominance, right? So if stablecoin dominance is going up, then crypto is going down, generally speaking. If stablecoin dominance is going down, then crypto is going up. So I've been tracking this for quite a while now. We actually pointed out the top up here a long time ago, if you remember and been in here long enough, and that's what also helped us get into Bitcoin early at the end of 2022. Now, we have this move to the downside for several months, and we are now breaking trend is the first thing to monitor, right? We're breaking the downtrend. The other thing to notice is that our EMAs are now bullish on the daily, right? For the first time since they were bullish all the way back in October of 2023. So this is quite a while, right? So this is nothing to sneeze at, and I think that this, we could get a move back down to retest and then move back up, but we're just going to keep an eye on this daily as this progresses. Looking at the monthly chart and the entire history of stablecoin dominance, I'm going to show you something that is quite interesting. So this is like the all-time channel that it has been in since 2018, right? So we're talking 6 years. And if you look at the candle we have so far this month, it looks very similar to these bottom candles here and here, right? Before we get a move up. And like I said earlier, if this chart's moving up, then crypto is falling because people are selling their crypto for stables. And so this is something I want to definitely make sure you keep an eye on and are very careful moving forward. I would not be buying just because an ETF is coming out. There needs to be more than that. There needs to be more reason. Now, this could break below for the first time in 6 years, and then, Bitcoin to the moon, right? It could. But I like to use things like this to give me confidence that it's probably not going to, right? Like the odds are, probabilities say this is where USDT dominance holds. And so we could get a move like this, which is why I have this one like indicated. We could get like a wick down under trend and then move all the way back up. And this would be a scenario where we do go up and tap that 50K mark and then get a quick move back down to the downside to close back above. And that would create a similar looking candle on the monthly as this one. Keep in mind also this monthly candle just started. It's only the 7th. So this monthly candle will not close until February 1st. So we still have like 23 days left of this candle. And so I'm just going to keep monitoring that candle and seeing how it progresses. The daily short term right now is the one thing that concerns me short term. We're supposed to get an ETF announcement this week, supposedly, according to Twitter, right? But the daily is telling me that we are turning bearish short term, and so until this candle comes back down below those EMAs, I have to assume short term bearishness. And so that is the stance that I'm taking, especially after tapping that main all-time trend line. If we look at total market cap, we came very close to our 618, and these are the two levels we've been watching for a very long time. And if you look at last week's candle, we had some extreme moves up and extreme moves down, and now we're beginning the week starting down. This is typically a top-looking candle. This is something where it wants to shake out all the longs, shake out all the shorts, leave everybody undecided, and then start moving in the direction that it's really intended to go. And that typically means this way. If we look at total 3, which is the altcoin market, subtract USDT, because we don't want to include USDT, we want to track the altcoins themselves, and then we divide it by Bitcoin, and this gives us altcoins over the Bitcoin market, right? You can see we had a little mini alt season here for 3 weeks, and then last week we get a huge move back below the EMAs. So this never crossed bullish. So no, we are not getting a real alt season just yet. You can see our MACD is still well in the negative, our RSI is still under center, so it's not quite ready to go yet. Even though we've had some nice alt moves, this isn't going to be the alt season that we think it is just yet. Our main support down here is this 0.5, also where the weekly pivot S1 is sitting right around 7.942 million. If we look at this whole chart, you can see that I just simply took the fib retracement from that low to our all-time high, and we're sitting here oscillating around between the 0.5 and the 382 for several weeks, almost, 5 months. So nothing crazy going on in alts yet. Looking at Bitcoin, or let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum has this kind of trend line going on at the top here, and it's been oscillating around it for several weeks. It's been quite annoying and exhausting. And very difficult to trade short term. If you're a long-term trader, cool, just hold on to it. We could see some dips down to the 1850 level here where there's a CME gap. We could hold that 2000 mark as well. If we look at the CME chart, the 0.5 on this chart is at 2200. So if this fails, if this 2200 mark where the 8 EMA is currently sitting exactly in the same spot, right? So this is our support that we need to watch for. If that fails, you can see as low is 2000, which is where the 21 EMA is as well, and where the 0.5 is on our spot chart. Right, so combining both of these charts gives us a really clear indication of what to expect. Like if this breaks, we're going here. If that breaks, we are going there. Now, if that breaks, then we're probably coming down to the CME gap at 1850. And so we have very clear points to trade with. I do one-on-one sessions as well, teach you how to do this. It's not rocket science. It's not really hard. I was a construction worker for 20 years before I decided to start learning how to trade and do markets and stuff. So I'm nobody special. I get it wrong too. I don't claim to make millions in trading. I'm a realistic person who has a family and kids, and I enjoy teaching people the most. I enjoy teaching more than trading. So if you want to learn, I would love to teach you. So back to Bitcoin. Here is our, that was another thing I wanted to show you. Looking at USDT on the weekly, and if we turn our pivots on, look at the pivot that it touched here, right? Before bouncing, right? This is our brand new pivot that we only get once a year. So we won't get new weekly pivots until 2025 over here. And so this pivot is very important, and I don't know if we're going to fall below that. Anytime soon. If we do, then cool, we'll start talking about the next one. But right now, I have to assume that we're going to go up here and touch this pivot next. Same thing on Bitcoin, where we open up the year on the weekly, touching that pivot, right? And now we've rejected it. So it wouldn't surprise me to see some downside from there. So these are just all the things that I look at and factor in. Risk to reward. If you think about how much Bitcoin could go up from here to that 786, and then look at a long position here, the risk to reward is not great. If the downside target, why isn't this cooperating with me? I don't know. It's not working. If the downside target is 32K, which is down here, also where two fibs are lining up right around where the weekly pivot is. Like this is the downside potential, and that's the upside potential. There's very little room here compared to a lot of room here, right? And so this is where what I mean when I say the risk to reward from this location up is not good. Like I don't want to take that short-term or mid-term trade, ETF news or not. I don't want to risk 1 to 2 on my money. I want to risk 3 to 1. So that's just the way that I look at it. Looking at Ethereum to Bitcoin, we're still just sitting right on that 0.5 in our 6-year-long trend line. So I'm still just going to hold on to Ethereum for a little while. I did convert some of my Bitcoin to Ethereum over the last couple weeks, and I plan on just holding on to that for now. If this breaks downward, then yeah, I'm going to be worried because you can see how fast it can go from that 0.5 to that 382. There's nothing really in the way keeping that from just tanking. So as soon as this falls through and closes the candle below, I will definitely be letting you know, and I might just be getting out of Ethereum altogether and waiting. So looking at Sol, I don't know if you remember, but I said before Christmas, I think it was. When was this? It was on Christmas. So on Christmas Day, I had pointed out that Sol had tapped at 786. And I said, I think that we'll get a multi-day downward trend from here. And sure as hell, this is exactly what's happened. And it's been down ever since. So I've kind of drawn this little trend line here. We're back in the golden pocket. So the downside target could be as much as 70 bucks down here, or this trend line somewhere in this zone, unless we can break back above 95.56. So this now becomes our bear bull threshold, right? If we can break back up above 95.56, then we can start seeing some more upside, but as long as it's under here, we have to assume downside. Let's see, what else should we look at? Tau. Tau, I'm still waiting on my 180. I have a limit order in, and this is going to be where I want to buy it. I sold this probably here when we hit that 1.618. I didn't FOMO when we went a little bit higher, and now I've just been waiting for my re-entry significantly lower than where I sold. All right, so I think that covers everything. I'm going to go ahead and take the chart requests now from the Discord. If you would like to come and join the Discord, you can find the links in the description. And feel free to message me anytime, ask me any questions you might have. I really want to educate people and help them make their own decisions in this space and get off of crypto Twitter and start making their own, right? All right, well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next month. Have a good one. Bye.